Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name's StepsBasic and welcome back to my community show. That's a stupid one. I've done that one before, I don't like it. But anyway, that's not what's important. What's important is our topic for today, which is fandoms. Alright, so the deep, dark world of fandoms is a many-storied, many-layered thing. Whether or not you are, a Potterhead, a Hovian, a brony, whatever you want to call it, whatever fandom you want to associate yourself with, there are many different fandoms out there. Basically, if there's something that exists and there are people who like it, there's a fandom for it. That being said, I'm going to come out right here and now and say, I don't like fandoms. I know I've said before many a time on this channel that I am a part of fandoms. I'm not actually. The problem I have with fandoms is that there's just a lot of wrong things that go on. A lot of things I don't subscribe to. For instance, I would say that anyone who enjoys something is a fan of it. However, we often forget that the word fan is derived from the word fanatic. Or, a little crazy, little obsessive about something. And in a lot of cases, you'll see that in the fandoms and whatnot. So it takes you to the point where you can't just enjoy something. And so the fandom sucks the enjoyment out of the thing that you like. There's also a lot of other nonsensical things such as gatekeeping and superiority complexes associated with certain fandoms. Now, I for one say if you like something, like it. If you want to go the full fanatic route, go full fanatic. It's up to you. I'm also the one that says don't treat other people badly, because there's no point in that. This is stupid. If somebody else likes a show or a movie or a game that you like as well, but they're not nearly to your, level of fanaticism, then don't put them down for it. It's part of the biggest reason why I don't like fandoms, is because especially it's really bad in the Star Wars fandoms. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I love all the ships. I love the space battles. I love every episode of it. That's a lie. But there's definitely a degree of, if you don't like this or you haven't seen this, then you're not a true fan. The gatekeeping aspect of it. And if you don't know the name of every single ship in it, then you're not a true fan. The superiority complex involved in it. And admittedly, I don't know the names of all the ships, because I could watch the movies and everything without worrying about that. And of course, there's the whole other side of it, where if you don't like something associated with that, then you're also not a true fan. Now, I'm old, so we all know where I started my Star Wars venture at. I started with episode 4, which was originally the only episode, it was New Hope. And I love those. I love all 3 of them. Then we go back to the prequels when they came out. I watched the 3rd prequel, episode 3, on deployment. I was in Dubai, and we had the big old projector set up in the hangar bay. We had some food. It was a great time. Everyone was just enjoying themselves watching this movie that just came out. And for that, I will always have a good place in my heart for episode 3. The rest of the prequels, give or take. There were aspects of it that I didn't like, aspects of it that I really did like, and truth be told, that's how it should be. It shouldn't be just we hate episode 1 because Jar Jar Binks was an idiot. And honestly, compared to some of the sidekicks we've seen in other shows, he's not that bad. Moving on past that, I can't consider myself a fan of, according to the fandom, of Harry Potter because I don't like the movies. I've seen up to the Goblet of Fire, which was incidentally my favorite book. Everything after The Goblet of Fire, I didn't watch the movies, and the books just kind of fell out. Don't get me wrong, the books were still enjoyable. But if I had such a visceral response to the Goblet of Fire movie, I figured I wasn't going to enjoy the rest of the movie, so I didn't watch them. That being said, I should probably watch the new ones. I hear they're pretty good. And so, as a result of that, I can't consider myself a fan of Harry Potter because I don't watch the movies. And the sad part is, that's what these fandoms do, is they suck the enjoyment out of what you enjoy. I don't want to associate myself with fans because I don't want to be seen as the nutcase, you know? I'll still say I'm a fan of something. I'll say that all day long because, in truth, I am a fan, and I have been fans of things before, especially the Dragon Ball Z. Before I even watched it, I knew more about it than a lot of my friends did. Because I wanted to know more, because people kept asking me questions. Hey, have you seen Dragon Ball Z? So I looked into it, and I did some research about it. Then I actually watched the show. The story is great, the characters are interesting, the layout of the show is annoying. It's a good show, definitely a binge-watching thing, though. You can't just watch an episode this week and then hope that something's going to happen next week, because with that show, it's a lot of next time on Dragon Ball Z's. That's all I can say about that. Now, I've seen all of it. I've seen it all now, and it took me a few years to actually watch them all, but back in the day, I knew more about it than a lot of my friends who were, quote, fans. See, there it is. The superiority complex. Even I succumb to it on occasions. Now, my biggest issue is what I mentioned earlier, the gatekeeping. You're not a true fan unless such and such and such. I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe that. I think I'm going to do a video separately on gatekeeping because that is a big topic that I want to talk about at some point. As such, you know, I don't see myself as that. I don't want to hold people out of something, especially if it's something I enjoy. Now, a lot of the times I will get that whole I guess you'd call it the fake fans. The fake fans do exist because back in the day, anime was not quite as mainstream as it is. Same with video games, and so if you were a fan of these, it wasn't a good thing. But nowadays, with the advent of the internet and how widespread everything's got, now it's cool to be a fan of things. It's cool to have a bunch of knowledge that, you know, normal people don't have. And so people will be like, yeah, I'm a Potterhead, or I'm a Whovian, or I'm a Brony, and I'm like, okay. And then you talk to them and they find out they actually don't know anything about it. Like back in the day when I knew more about Dragon Ball Z from research rather than watching, I wouldn't have counted myself as a fan. I would have counted myself as a knowledgeable person, but not as a fan. Now I'm a fan because I've seen the shows and I enjoy them, despite the lengthy, drawn-out parts of it. And so that sort of thing, I don't really consider it gatekeeping to say, hey, if you don't actually watch the show or you don't actually enjoy the content, you just enjoy, like, the research maybe, then how can you truly be a fan of it? That's a little weird. It's a give and take there. Even still, these fake fans should not be assaulted and insulted, because if they express a love and an interest in something and just haven't had the means or the capability to enjoy it beyond the research, they should not be barred from joining a fandom, so to speak. They should be welcomed with open arms, so to speak. You want to watch? Let's watch this together. Let's enjoy the ride, man. It's like introducing my ex-wife to Star Wars. She'd never seen it. She'd heard a lot about it, and I was like, okay, we need to watch this. So I put it on for her, and we watched it. She wasn't that into it. But Doctor Who, on the other hand, I'm come from the era when I watched before Chris Eccleston came out. I watched a bit of that stuff, and I knew a lot about Doctor Who before the new series started, before Chris Eccleston, was the Doctor. before Rose, before David Tennant, before all the amazing magic that's happening these days. I watched it before that. Do I think that no true Whovian has never seen that? Did I say that right? Do you have to have watched the previous stuff to be a true Whovian? A Truvian, if you will? Don't Truvian. I don't believe so. Because if you enjoy the show, if you enjoyed Chris Eccleston on, or David Tennant on, or Matt Smith on, or, Peter Capaldi, or I don't know the lady's name, but if you have only enjoyed the show even for just one Doctor, I feel that that's okay. Now, of course, if we break into the brony fandom, though, that's a bit of an issue. That's a different world. I'm not into that one. I watched the show with my daughter. She loves it. I enjoy the stories. I ain't no brony. That's just scary. That's a scary fandom right there. But even still, with all this gatekeeping that goes on, it kind of limits who can enjoy stuff. And I've seen it in video games too, especially the Undertale fandom. The Undertale fandom have viciously ripped into MatPat recently because he didn't post something. Because he didn't share a link when he was streaming a game. And whatever your take on that, assaulting the man verbally like they've done is not right. Especially after he came out and apologized, said, okay, it was an accident, slip of mind, I'm sorry. And then still they carry on because, oh my God. And the sad part is, this riot was instigated by the people who made the game. Despite the fact that they were okay with what he did previously, without sharing links, when he did Deltarune. Now he did the Heart Thump. I don't know. But that shows you the real dark side of the fandom. All that stuff being said, there is a good side to having a fandom, because I'm all about community. I may be a person who believes that every person is an individual, but it never hurts to have a community. I came from a society, Hispanic Mexican culture on the border to Mexico, where it's very community based. You're an individual, you enjoy being who you are, but family and friends are important. And much like that, you will find that sort of thing in the fandom. Don't speak out against the fandoms, but you will find a community within the fandoms. And it never hurts to have people to talk with about it. I mean, much like myself, I write, and it hasn't been until recently that I've actually been able to engage with other writers, which, oh my God, it's so amazing. I can talk to people who know my struggles as a writer, who have been through the same things as I have been through, and they know how much it hurts to see a character go, because that was a part of you. And it's amazing to have that sort of sense of community, and as such, you will find that in fandoms. You will find people who cried during the part when David Tennant tried to say I love you, and it didn't work because the connection broke. You will find people who were there the first time Goku revealed Super Saiyan 3. You will find people when Harry first used Sectum Sempra on that child and he felt the pain and the fear when his name came out of the goblet. You will meet people who felt that. And that sort of connection is something that is just not shared. I mean, a bit of a broader topic, going into when I was in the military. Even now, I've been out of the military for a while now, and I can still feel the connection when I'm around another former military person. I can almost instantly spot somebody who's been in the military because there's a lot to the way they carry themselves, the way they talk, the way they act, and I can see it and I can feel it and I can feel the camaraderie. That being said, there's always a dark side to the fandoms, but we've already talked about that. But anyway, what sort of fandoms do you guys enjoy? I'd like to hear about that. Now, I'll still engage with a fandom, but I don't consider myself a part of any fandoms, so to speak. Because I just want to enjoy the content And on occasions, I will engage with the fandoms just to see how things are and how the community is reacting to things. Like, I know the recent Doctor Who Doctor hasn't been going over well. I was kind of holding out hope that it would be a good one, but by the fan reaction, it's not so much, which is a little disappointing. But I'll probably still watch it. Because, I mean, I made it through some painful parts in Doctor Who when the Doctor was not exactly my favorite Doctor. I like the older Doctors. I like them when they're old. That's just me. But anyway, that's all I've got for you for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please go and poke that like button for me. If you want to see more from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, you're more than welcome to leave a comment down in the comment section down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. When I can, if I can, you know all that jazz. And tune in next time for more topics at another time. And until then, good night.